It's important that you all should know I make no claims to be something that what my advice is going to be worth anything. Anyone should do their own work. And I also have had history since 1975, a number of major mistakes as a result of which I've had considerable volatility in my results. And so therefore, once again, do your own work. I recently have noticed that we've had significant increase in the number of subscribers. So we want to thank you for your interest. And because there seems to be some continuing speech restrictions going on with some of the platforms, you may want to come to one of our other platforms that may have more information that we can share with you than what you're seeing now. Early in the process, Bitcoins was selling at around $200 a piece. I was long Bitcoin at $200, and the good news initially was, while I was long, it doubled to $400, and I think I put in 50,000, which became 100,000. And then, alas, because I didn't have two different securities so people couldn't steal, I only had one. I was on there and it said 100,000. And then after about 20 seconds, it said 95,000. And after another 20 seconds, it said 90,000. And I said, wait. Not being a technical guru, there was nothing I can do, and my entire investment in Bitcoin was wiped out. And so maybe that's one of the reasons I've never gotten back into the long side of Bitcoin as they went from $200 then to over 100,000. Such a spectacular rise. And so even though I've never been an investor, I've been interested in that market because I have a bias that when something goes up that much and people are saying, oh, it's going to keep going up, my bias tends to be, yeah, well, maybe it's going to roll over. And in the last few weeks, we've seen Bitcoin rolling over a good 25%. Today, I see it's below 100,000. And so it looks kind of bearish to me. And the biggest reason it's bearish to me is it's not based on anything. The people who are saying, hey, Bitcoin is better a store of value than gold or silver, I say, yeah, well, how can you hold a Bitcoin in your hand? Can you hold a gold ingot in your hand? Can you hold a silver coin in your hand? You're darn right. And so that's one of the reasons why my bias is to say, not only do I not want to invest in Bitcoin, I may be looking for a way to make money if it goes down. And in the most recent newsletter, I think we've found that way, which is the company Strategy, which, for example, borrowed over $8 billion. They use almost all of that to do what? To buy Bitcoins. And a lot of their Bitcoins are bought at higher prices than we're now seeing. And if you look at the chart today, Bitcoins have broken below 100,000, I think to 98,000. And if you look at the chart, this could be the start of a major collapse in the company, because while the book value of the average company is about a fifth of the market cap, which in itself is a very high price relationship, not only is the stockholders' equity of Strategy not a fifth of their 60 billion market cap, it's negative. It's negative. And as Bitcoin is going down, and Bitcoin being their major asset, why I think that if things get bad enough, the only way the company will keep going will be to sell Bitcoins, which is to say it's almost like a Ponzi scheme. From that, it could contribute to Bitcoins getting even lower, there being nothing behind it of a physical nature, unlike gold and silver. So we continue to feel that if you are speculative enough, as I am, to consider shorting, why you might take a look at shorting Strategy, because I think there could be a long way down. And more in speculative factors like shorting, you should have some idea of how much you're willing to lose. Last price I saw for Strategy is like 215, and my sense is if it goes back above say 250, then I will probably bow once again to the markets and take my small loss. But unless that happens, I'm going to hang in there and recommend you hang in there, because there could be more on the downside coming. If you want a copy of my book, The Speculator's Mosaic, you can find that on Amazon.